this year.
So pulling up the stats right now, it's about takeaways per game, which is, and this is only against the power, Division I opponents. So so the FCS games aren't included in the stats. Whenever you hear my stats, and if they look different than what might be on ESPN.com, I use teamrankings.com, which is just, it removes like the Bethune-Cookmans, the FAMUs of the world, and only focuses.
And the Florida States of the world.
Yeah, soon. Very, very soon. And it only focuses on Division I programs. So I think this is the best way to look at stats. Anyways, takeaways per game, fumbles and interceptions per game total. Miami was 80th in the country last year, 8-0 at 1.3. Obviously, the turnover chain years, it wasn't just a gimmick. Miami was ranking in the top 10, top 5 during those seasons until they started dropping off, and then the turnovers started dropping off. So 80th is not where you want to be. It's a sign of maybe a lack of athleticism on the defense, maybe a lack of athleticism in the back seven. Means the pass rush is not working the way it is, means the disguises aren't working the way they got to do. Just a lot of things that went wrong for Miami's defense. You see a lot of stats in that 70 to 80 range. This is one of them, 80th in turnovers. Takeaways. So you go back and look at, Minnesota under Coach Heatherman. It wasn't like an outstanding takeaway unit. It was 58th in the country, so it wasn't a material, like a huge difference. Obviously, it was better. But the question is, with Heatherman, with these athletes, can that number get closer to that top 30, top 25? And I think it can, man. So we'll talk about some guys that we expect to take the ball away. I'm going to start with Zechariah Poyser, redshirt freshman All-America, or freshman All-America, redshirt freshman last year at Jacksonville State, 4 interceptions for his career. So this is a guy that can take away the ball. Seen it at practice. The guy's got range. He was a former receiver in high school, basketball player. So the safety was literally the last thing he did. And that's why he redshirted and kind of developed up there. Terry Jefferson, who helped recruit him to Jacksonville State, now Miami's nickel coach. So this is a guy who he just has those natural ball skills, can high point it, has that feel. And I think you compare him, like you look at Amish Powell, who had those ball skills. I think you have similar traits to Amish Powell in that way, but just a twitchier player, a more consistent tackler, just more of kind of like an SEC physicality skill set to a Zechariah Poyser, who I remind everybody, Georgia lost Malachi Starks. Georgia had KJ Bolden as a freshman All-America. By the way, who was he next to on that freshman All-America list? Zechariah Poyser and OJ Frederick. But they had KJ Bolden as a freshman All-America in the defensive backfield safety. Then Malachi Starks as their junior star safety. He goes to the NFL, to the Baltimore Ravens first round. Andrew Rafael Rubino, the head of college personnel, what would be the exact title? Would be
probably college scouting.
The head of the man when it comes to college players.
Director of college scouting
for the Baltimore Ravens. Kane fan, helped make that pick of Malachi Starks going to Baltimore. Great pick for them. But anyways, Malachi Starks goes on to the first round. Now you're adding in a replacement safety. They wanted Zechariah Poyser. So this is a guy that I'm not saying he's Malachi Stark's skill set, first round skill set, but Georgia, who we know they recruit at the high level, they said, who's going to replace this skill set next to KJ Bolden? Let's try to get Zechariah Poyser. And they recruit him very, very hard, finished second to Miami. So I think overall, this is a guy. I'm not saying he's Sean Taylor, who's going to be the number 5 pick of the draft. I think he's an NFL player. I think he's got a lot of things going for him. He's tough. He's smart. He's athletic. I could see this guy really helping our turnovers, at least replacing what Mish Powell did in that department, who was really our main turnover maker last year, but then also giving you some more other stuff from a physicality standpoint.
Yeah, when I interviewed Terry Jefferson, who is Miami's Nichols coach right now, at Media Day, he was also with him at Jacksonville. He was with Poyser at Jacksonville State, and what he told me was the first time, because he was with him the first couple years of his career, he said the first time he saw on the football field, he was kind of uncoordinated, didn't really know, what he was going to be able to do with him. But then as soon as he saw him on a basketball court, jumping and dunking and grabbing rebounds, that he was like, this athleticism is incredible once he learns how to use it, and he can kind of float in the air. And I think you see it in some of the plays on his clips from last year is when that ball's in the air, his ability to high point it and, like Coach Jefferson said, kind of just float up there with it, are elite. So very excited about him, and he's gotten a lot stronger as well.
Yeah, he's a strong. You look at him as a physical guy. You stand next to him. He's like wiry on tape when you see him. Then you stand next to him. He's bulky. He's put on some weight, and I don't see any issues physicality wise. I think that'll be a strength of his too. Pete, before we get to your player, that's going to help on the turnover. I should also mention, if this defensive line can produce a pass rush worthy of the talents on there, which I think last year you saw it underachieve relative to even a Tyler Barron going to the New York Jets. We just didn't have the production we needed out of those guys. Some of it, I think, was too much stunting. Just the alignment, the responsibilities didn't click with these guys, and they didn't perform to their talent rushing the passer. If you can get that back up to speed, that's also going to help the turnover margin, both from forcing fumbles, forcing bad passes, et cetera. So, Pete, with all that said, who is a player that you think is going to help boost up this turnover numbers?
So I know we were talking about someone else before the show. I'll let you use him after this. The guy that I had in mind is Mo Toure at linebacker. Just seeing the force that he hits with, I think he's going to get a hat on the ball 2 or 3 times this year, just in terms of like a running back up the middle, a receiver, on an inside route. I think he's going to be a guy when it comes to the blitz packages that they use as a pass rusher as well too. So and just as a blitzer from the middle of the field. So maybe a quarterback strip or two. So I'm looking at him, more so in a different light than some of these defensive backs. But I think he's going to knock the ball loose a few times this year with the power that he plays with.
100%. By the way, like and subscribe to the show. Over 1,000 on here on this morning here at the beautiful Duffy's Tavern. Nowhere else I would rather be. I know there's nowhere else Pete would rather be, because he'd probably be here anyways if he wasn't recording. Duffy's Tavern, not the chain, not the sterile version, the original, authentic. You feel like
this one's sterile as well, but it's
clean.
Yes,
not sterile.
Yes,
and it feels like, man, I feel like I'm going to watch Miami Notre Dame back in the 80s coming out here, man. This is that feel, man. You want to get that Miami feel, Duffy's Tavern, where you want to be, the absolute best, new ownership. So they're taking the details to a whole new level, keeping the authentic flair. As you can see right here, man, if you're watching this and you've been to Duffy's, it looks like Duffy's, right? So unbelievable spot. Anyways, with Mo Toure, I'm sorry. You mentioned it, just the physicality. I would point out that he led Rutgers in sacks every year that he was healthy. Sacks. So the pass rush that he brings. We talk about Ruben Bain and Romando Blunt and Messidor and guys like that. Marquise Lightfoot helping the pass rush. Justin Scott, whoever. Don't forget about this guy's pass rush. Heatherman likes his linebackers to rush the passer anyways. That's something he did at Minnesota, something he believes in from a recruiting standpoint. So getting a guy like this to rush the passer, who started off as a defensive lineman and has always rushed the passer well, has the body, has just the instincts and the feel, that's going to cause turnovers as well. Because let's say you block up the defensive lineman, and you got number 1 coming at you. You're a freshman quarterback at Notre Dame. You throw it up. Now one of these defensive backs is coming and grabbing the ball. So good choice there, Pete. Cool. I like how you were thinking on that one. I'm going to add. I think I know who your next choice is, because it might be somebody that you support because of the colors you wore in high school.
I was giving that one to you.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
And then lay it up for me, man. Bryce Fitzgerald, right? So Bryce Fitzgerald, true freshman. We have good safeties right now. Safety's not the weakness it was last year. You had Zechariah Poitras, I think, is going to be a really, really good player. Jacoby Thomas, who's going to start for Tennessee, brings that physical presence we've been lacking. Backing him up, Marquise Williams, a guy with a lot of experience who's having a really good offseason and trending the right way. And you don't usually have experienced safeties like that stay with the program. He's got range. He's got some stuff he can do. And then Dylan Day, who we're excited about, best special teams player on the team last year. So those are nice. Those are 4 real safeties. I think there's just a lot more depth and experience than there was last year. But special guys kind of forced their way on the field. And I think Bryce Fitzgerald, when you talk about, we've talked about the tackling ad nauseum. If he needs to tackle to play safety, and it's so far so good, obviously it's an ongoing process. So far so good. His ability to take away the ball is special. And I don't use that lightly. I use special twice in this freshman class. For Malachi Toney, I just think the instincts and what he does offensively is special. And Bryce Fitzgerald's turnover creating ability is just special. If we had Cam Kitchens, whose jersey's in the rafters. I saw Cam Kitchens' whole career. I saw him on Green Tree. I saw him in high school. He played for the same 7-on-7 program as Bryce Fitzgerald with our guy, Coach Duasso. So apples to apples. Fitzgerald has all the same ball skills as Cam Kitchens or more. Because remember, Cam Kitchens didn't play receiver. Bryce Fitzgerald is a legit receiver. So he has all of that. Same kind of production in high school. It's just a machine turning the ball over in high school. It's translated to Miami immediately. He has all that same Cam Kitchens stuff, plus, as far as grabbing the ball, high pointing it, and the instincts. Then you put 4.3, 4.4 speed on him. There's a guy that ran a 10.68 in the 100 meters. Basically, he was like sitting at like 10.8 range. So You add elite athleticism to elite ball skills and instincts and just hands at the whole package. You're going to get a lot of turnovers, man. I just think this guy's athletic ability, his turn and run, his fluidity, it's all just special. And by the way, not only is he going to help you in the turnover department, he's going to help you in a department that Miami has not excelled in, which is that non-offensive touchdown category, right? So Cam Kitchens had that great interception return, I want to say, against Boston College. I think it might have been a record-setting interception return. And he was a pretty good punt returner in high school. He had that ability. This guy with Fitzgerald, he was one of the best returners in the country last year, kickoff punt, or if he got his hands on the ball. So now you're talking about another dimension where he's able to take the ball and take it to the end zone. And by the way, look, when I compare to Cam Kitchens, I'm the biggest Cam Kitchens fan on the planet. I've been hyping him up since he was in high school. I think if Fitzgerald has Cam Kitchens' mental game, which is kind of a TBD because I just don't know the kid and he just got here, and if he has his tackling ability, he'll be all world. He'll be a top 10 pick. That remains to be seen. Cam Kitchens is in the rafters. Cam Kitchens is starting in the NFL for the Los Angeles Rams. So I don't want to crown Fitzgerald prematurely. I'm just saying the things that Cam Kitchens does with the ball in the air, Bryce Fitzgerald can do that plus. So, I was actually watching his basketball highlights, Pete, because he played last year. I didn't realize it. I know you're tight with the Columbus program. Coach Moran now at the University of Miami. We talked all the basketball coverage you've been doing. But I actually didn't realize, I guess in blowouts last year, Fitzgerald played a little bit because he had some nice highlights going coast to coast, and he was like fast, man. He looked good.
Was it last year? I didn't realize he played last year.
I'll pull up the highlights.
I didn't realize he played last year either, but
I'll show you right now.
I know he had some stuff definitely junior year. But no, this guy, the thing is that he was so focused on football, in terms of the workouts that he wanted to do, that he didn't want to risk anything in terms of basketball. I gave a basketball scouting report on him a year ago when he committed, and it was great stuff.
Yeah,
so.
We have the long highlight reel from Belen. I just want to show the Columbus one because he just got here. So here we go. Here's him at Columbus. There you got Boozer. You got all these guys playing, right? So Columbus was #1 team in the country. These are all NBA guys. But fast forward here to the end a little bit. There's Jackson Richardson. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
These guys are all NBA guys. So, it's amazing what Columbus is doing. I remember when they were losing to Belen. But here we go. Here, look at Bryce Fitzgerald. There's the ball skills with the steal. Look at the speed, coast to coast, man. This guy's a real dude, man.
Defensively, a beast, tenacious. That was what it was told to me as an on-ball defender. But yeah, you see his leaping ability there too.
When Belen Jesuit won the state championship in basketball, beating Daytona Beach Maitland, who fought after the game, Bryce Fitzgerald was one of our key guys off the bench, just playing defense, filling up the box score, scoring as well. So this is a real basketball player, real athlete.
How did he look in the fight after? Do we know?
I don't know. Jose might have been there. We got some Belen people. How are we doing the fight? Were you at the state championship game where we fought Daytona Beach?
Yeah, it was not really a fight.
A bunch of love taps from Jose, by the way. You go into Duffy's Tavern, you see Jose. This guy has been like cheers, man. And you need the man at the top, the guy, the friendly face, the guy that knows everybody, the guy that really loves the place. And this is a passion project for Jose here at the Duffy's Tavern, man. And he's the man. So this is the environment right here. The vibes are impeccable. I'm feeling 80s Miami in the building. I'm feeling 80s Miami on the football field right now. And 80s Miami, they can turn the ball over. So we need guys like Bryce Fitzgerald getting the ball and going the other way.
No doubt.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Brandon's saying, I live in Daytona. We won. I'm not sure. I look in the Belen Jesuit Auditorium and I see a banner that says Belen Jesuit State Champions. So I'm not sure Daytona won that particular situation there. But
maybe Brandon's just claiming it because it's his hood.
Yeah, man. So anyways, got over almost 1,200 on, man. Yeah, like and subscribe to the show. A lot going on today. We're doing the early show, but we got the press conferences at noon. We'll talk about 12:30. I might do a show after that.
I think it might be live streamed on Hurricane Sports.
Yeah, so I'll be there. And then we got the nighttime scrimmage as well, or the nighttime practice. And also, how could I be remiss to not mention CanesConnection.com/CIS, CanesConnection.com/CIS at 6. So I'm doing this before the scrimmage so I can make sure I attend the scrimmage and I can give you the juice next time for Canes Connection members. Doing the Zoom call for Canes Connection members. Sign up with CanesConnection.com/CIS. If you use promo code CIS50, get 50% off your first month at any price point, but you get all the benefits, right, of that price point. And that includes at every price point, private Zoom calls with me, talking about practice in a way that's more detailed than I can say in a public forum. You see all these Notre Dame fans crawling. We got to keep it a little more private for CanesConnection.com/CIS. But be part of Miami's official NIL collective. Join today. Use that promo code CIS50, and you get access to that private Zoom event, which I'm doing today at Thursday at 6. It'll be recorded. It'll get sent around. And then next week, I'll do the same thing, talking about what's going on in camp. Giving you guys, like, ask anybody who's in Canes Connection. They'll tell you. They get the most specific, accurate, certified information there in that Canes Connection Zoom. So be part of the solution to this roster, which right now it's the best roster we've had since I can remember. Before, not including the Bush Davis glory days. It's getting better, right? Miami's loading up. I said it in the bank. Miami's goal is to load up, build up the war chest, and then make aggressive runs at some flip targets. Derek Cooper will be at the game. James Johnson, Pete, I've been talking about it on the work and your Discord. There's a lot of guys. Jet Washington, elite player out of Bishop Gorman. Justice Fitzpatrick, Micah Fitzpatrick's brother, committed to Georgia, but his brother's in town now. That's a very live flip target as well. So a lot of guys in the mix, but you need money to get them. Plus, you need money to keep the guys you got, because we got good players other teams want. This freshman class of 25, everybody's been trying to get those guys and get them to – they're going to be tampering like crazy with those guys once they see what we got in that class with all the hits we had. So be part of the solution. CanesConnection.com/CIS. Promo code CIS50 for 50% off. And I'll see everybody on the Zoom at 6. We might do another one of these live shows just because I can't help myself. Maybe we'll do it after the pressers to talk about what Mario and Shannon got to say. But yeah, man, I'm fired up. I'm just fired up to be here at Duffy's, man. Nowhere else I'd rather be. We'll be here every single week. So get used to this background. We'll be seeing it. Again, watch parties, all kinds of sports, just happy hour, post-work hangout. You can bring your family. It's a bar. It's a legit bar, but it's not a dive bar where you can't take kids. You got people doing drugs everywhere. There's not one of those situations. It's a family atmosphere that still feels authentic Miami. So, it's a win-win-win-win. This is the real Duffy's. Don't confuse it with those chains. This is not Chili's. You know what I mean? This is not TGI Fridays. This is the real deal Holyfield, Duffy's Tavern. If you know, you know.
Go Canes. See you guys later. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching.
Go Canes.